Hi my lovely Patreons! Today I actually thought that I would do a casual little video again with my caffeine-free coffee. Oh, I have to have coffee even if there's no caffeine. I fill it with sugar instead.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Oh well. Either way back I got this wonderful hooking book, I love it so much, from my wish list, and I promised that I would read and go through one of the crimes, or a few of them actually, here with you on Patreon, as a thanks for getting this book. It's one of my all-time favorites, it's fantastic. So yeah, let's get into it. We're going to, let's see here, England, London, and it's a quite famous case. I might do a YouTube video on her in the future, but this is for you guys. It's about Kate Webster, a Victorian true crime case. Well then, this Kate Webster, I don't know if everyone's heard, but I've heard the name many a times. She was born in 1849. And she would become one of the most notorious female murderers. And we'll soon find out why. Born in Ireland, Webster found work as a servant to a widow, Julia Martha Thomas, in Richmond, southwest London, in January 1879. Her occupation there wouldn't be very long though, because the two ladies clashed, to put it nicely. They just did not like each other. Julia, the employer, thought that Kate just didn't do her job properly and scolded and berated Kate a lot. Maybe just from malice and being a grumpy lady, or because Kate was a sloppy worker. Either way, they agreed to part company at the end of February. If only it would have ended there. Then on 2nd of March, after a public row in church, Webster killed her mistress and dismembered the body. For 2 whole weeks she then pretended to be her mistress, dressing in her clothing and living in her house. But after those 2 weeks, she fled back to Ireland. Julia Thomas' neighbors were starting to get a bit suspicious after a while. Where did the old lady go? They contacted authorities, of course. The police came and searched the house and found multiple bloodstains, as well as a bit of a finger bone in the fireplace. Webster had left a letter with her Irish address on it, so a wanted notice was issued immediately. After they found Kate Webster, she argued that it had been an accident, that Julia Thomas had fallen badly and demised in that way, while they were having an argument, of course, because they always did, they always argued. She later admitted cutting up Julia Martha Thomas' body and boiling the flesh. She had packed parts of Miss Thomas' body into a Gladstone bag and a hat box and thrown them into the Thames. Thames? How do you pronounce that? Thames. And they later washed up in barns. Furthermore, 1 foot was dropped into a rubbish tip in Twickenham, and the head was buried under the stables of the Hole in the Wall pub near Miss Thomas' home. It was also claimed as a morbid curiosity that she tried to sell the fat of Mrs. Thomas, to neighbors, but that couldn't be proven. Just a morbid little curiosity there. Webster was convicted at the Old Bailey on 13th of June. She was revealed as a woman with a string of previous convictions, mostly for theft. But Miss Thomas had never checked her references. In a last desperate attempt to save herself, Kate pleaded the belly, claiming that she was Bergante. Because of course if a woman was Bergante, they couldn't go on with any kind of demise penalty as long as she was in that state. But a jury of matrons rejected this and she was hanged at Wandsworth Prison on 29th of July. In a bizarre twist, Miss Thomas' skull was discovered in 2010 during building work at Sir David Attenborough's Richmond home. Yeah, quite a tale. Especially the part by the end there that David Attenborough found her skull. What are the odds, really? Either way, yeah, that was one of the cases from this fabulous book. Thank you so much to the Patreon who sent it to me. I love it and I will get so much use out of it now that I will be delving more into Victorian crimes. This was a short little ramble and a little read here with you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you very, very soon with more Norse mythology and creepy deepy crimes. Hope everyone's doing amazing. Giant hugs! Mwah! See you soon. Bye bye! Hi my lovely patrons. Today we're gonna read another one of these Victorian crime stories. And it's the cruel and inhumane murder committed upon the body of a Captain Lawson. Sounds interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna put that picture in so you can see it. It is with surprise we have learned that this neighborhood for a length of time was amazingly alarmed this day by a crowd of people carrying the body of Mr. James Lawson to a doctor, while streams of blood besmeared the way in such a manner that cries of murder re-echoed the sound of numerous voices. It seems that this scene originated from yet another man who promised a woman marriage and then it just didn't happen. And that woman, this time, well, her name was, let me see, Miss Lucy Gurd. Described as a handsome young lady of refined feelings, with the intercourse of a superior, enlightened mind, who lived with her aunt, who spared neither pain nor cost to improve the talents of Miss G. Yeah, she had lived with her aunt. I'm guessing a wealthy aunt or a non-wealthy aunt. These stories are a bit murky. Anyway, her parents had perished and she lived with her aunt, who took well care of her. So how did she and this Lawson fella come together? She bore a most excellent character until she got entangled by the deluding allurements of a Mr. L, the Captain Lawson fella, who after they mutually agreed and appointed the nuptial day, not only violated his promise on account of her fortune being too small, poor girl, but boasted through the neighborhood of the unbecoming manner he had triumphed over her virtue. They did the deed. Big no-no. He then sashayed his way into a different lady of greater fortune, after humiliating Miss Lucy. How gallant of him. I think we can call him a rake. The new lady took such a deep impression in his heart that he advanced in the most energetic gallantry and obtained her consent and got the banns published in London. I'm guessing that's when they put like, hey, we're getting married into the papers. He just wanted to get rich fast. I feel sad for both of the ladies. Then Lucy heard of this, and she decided to go ahead and blackmail our Captain Lawson with them. Yeah, well, all those letters they've sent to each other, that's what they did. They didn't text or call, they just sent great love letters to each other. Not very smart if you promise to marry someone, because that could actually go to the law. Yeah, so she was determined to enter an action against him for breach of promise.
Come in now. Captain. Who let the cat in? Oh, and then she went out again. Okay, cool. Thanks. Thanks, cat. Oh, I'll just let it be half open in case she wants to come in. Okay. Yes, so where were we? Yeah, blackmail.
And ruining Captain Lawson's prospects with new lady. A rich lady. Captain Lawson, he demanded from her his letters at the peril of her life, which Miss Lucy, like a distinguished young lady, refused. Then Lucy tried to evict him from her premises, and Captain Lawson refused and tried to gain his letters to her by force. A sturdy scuffle ensued, and while she screamed for assistance, he attempted to commit an outrageous violation on her person. When, to protect her virtue, she drew a large carving knife and stabbed him under the left breast, which quickly brought him to subjection. His vehement cries alarmed the neighbors, who came to her assistance and found them both in contest at the door, while she thrusted him out in a gore of blood, which exhibited a scene of such momentary confusion that the most anxious conjecture was unable to draw the slightest idea on the wanton provocation. So people who saw it were confused. I think that's what they're trying to say in all these fancy words. Either way, the doctors tried to save his life, and poor Captain Lawson went ahead and unsubscribed from live subscription. They are decidedly of opinion that this will put a certain period to his existence, which leaves the intended new bride pretty sad, because I guess she had no idea of all this going on. And then our dear Lucy, of course, is taken into the judicial system, and it does not say, but it's so hard to read old-timey English, but with all her letters and evidence, she could get off pretty easily with a small sentence because of his breach of promise, which was taken very, 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 very seriously back then. If you promised yourself to someone and they had it in a letter, and then you went off and married someone else, that was very much against the law. True. So she could actually get off from just that, like her hysteria, female hysteria from being broken up with. Yep. That was that. Amazing. Simply amazing. These crime stories, from the broadsides of England, they do know how to tell a story.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
There we go. Thank you so much again for listening to me read out of a little Victorian broadside book. Next time I'll be uploading Norse God again. Surprise, surprise, who'll that be? We don't know. I don't even think I know. I have a few ideas, but I haven't decided. So stick around, it'll be up. Thank you so much for supporting me, it means the world. So yeah, mwah! Kisses and hugs, and see you soon.